Welcome to Enlightened Evolution.
I'm Kay.
And I'm Christina.
We're here to discuss the ebb and flow of our soul's healing and transformation through self-reflection, choosing intentionally, honoring thyself, and following your inner guide.
Thank you for joining this safe space with us.
Good morning and welcome back to Enlightened Evolution with Kay and Christina. We hope you all are doing well this week. This week we're talking about cognitive dissonance. And I'm going to be honest with you. Kay brought this topic up and I was like, I'm going to have to Google that because I honestly didn't know what it meant. So, what I have for you is cognitive dissonance is the mental discomfort that we feel when we hold two conflicting beliefs, values, or behaviors at the same time. So, we'll get into that. But first, I wanted to do our oracle card. And this comes from my Mushroom Spirit Oracle deck. It's probably my favorite deck. And this one is Mycenae Interrupta, and it's purpose/judgment. It's number 28 for those who are interested in numerology. And let's read what it says here. This one is inedible, so if you see this in the forest, don't eat it. This is also known as pixie parasol. It's a striking little mushroom standing 22 millimeters high. Don't be fooled by how little and fragile it is. Most of its mass is within the wood it's decomposing, so it must get deep into that wood. Keep in mind, the mushroom is simply the fruiting body of mycelium, so it's really only the external. There's much underneath. This one is only found in southeastern Australia, New Zealand, New Caledonia, and Chile. It is known as the Gondwanan distribution. Okay. Let's see. This is because these countries are part of an ancient supercontinent that broke up about 200 million years ago in Australia. It is known. Okay, we can go past that. So, card meaning. It is a small but mighty mushroom with a big purpose. Don't ever let its looks fool you. Remember the analogy of the tip of the iceberg. You never know what's underneath the surface. You see only what wants to be seen or shown. The mycelium of this mushroom is a mass within the wood, slowly decomposing and turning in its nutrients into supply the nearby trees. It is small, but it plays an important role. Not only is stunning, it's hard to spot, and it's a very tiny mushroom. This card indicates that you don't need to be seen while completing your purpose, and don't be worried about what people assume about you. Small, fragile does not mean insignificant and useless. It means there is beauty in everything, seen and unseen, and not to judge a situation or person at first glance. It takes time to understand any person or thing because there is always so much more under the surface. It could also mean not to judge a book by its cover. People have so much more depth to them than they let on. There's always more to learn about a person or situation, so don't assume. Gather your information and look deeper.
I love it.
Me too. So, what kind of prompted you to talk about cognitive dissonance?
Because I'm like a walking contradiction. And I just feel it all the time, every day. Some days I do better than others, but like for instance, I care about my health, but I won't get up and exercise. I want to do really good about, cutting sugar out of my diet. But then my luteal phase comes along and I'm literally eating like a half-pound chocolate chip cookie from the cafeteria.
Yeah.
It's like the things that I do don't. So that's just
align with
that's what cognitive dissonance is. It's like I shouldn't be smoking anymore, but I still wake up and smoke every day. It's your values, your actions aren't aligning with your values. And so
when you brought this up, I was like, oh, I live this a lot too. Like, I was looking more and more in how it shows up in my life.
And it's like, how does it so after doing like more research on it and trying to figure out like how I can help myself with this, I thought it'd just be good to talk about how does it develop? And so it says like there's a few common ways it develops. One is conflicting beliefs. You believe two things that can't both be true. So like I think a good example of this is like a lot of like I've liked smoking weed periodically throughout my lifetime. It's not good for you. I know it does have medicinal purposes, but for the reason that I use it for, it can't be good for my mental health, but also like if I can continue smoking for a long time, I have more anxiety because I don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an oxymoron. Like it's not good for me, honestly. And I try to, justify it in ways. Um then there's belief versus behavior mismatch. You act in a way that contradicts your values. And I don't know what would be a good example of this. Like I really value, let's say, having a husband, but I'm also like a serial dater and I honestly would never get married. You know what I mean? Like that's the reality of my life, really. Like I love the idea of having like this devoted, loyal like partnership, but I don't think I'd actually ever take that stuff because I don't feel safe to do that based on statistically past humanity,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
relationships just being unfulfilled. So, um,
I have a couple examples of like other ways this might show up. So like in
mhm.
relationships, I love them, but I'm not happy. I've I've lived
Mhm.
that. Certainly I've lived that. Habits. I want to save money, but I keep shopping online. Also me. Identity. I
Yeah.
see myself as kind, but I gossiped about someone. God, all these fit
Mhm.
me.
For sure.
Or goals. I want to succeed, but I'm procrastinating every day.
Yep. Spring cleaning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you said, like the saving the money. It's almost like you feel like you have like these forced choices. Like you didn't really want to spend all that money on all that stuff, but buying an expensive phone or going to TJ Maxx and dropping a couple hundred, you're considering yourself like, convincing yourself that like I convince myself like I'm worth it. I deserve all these things. I deserve
Right.
to have a good day. But it's also I've wanted to have like a strict budget so I save, so I'm more financially responsible. And you can't have both. You can't go on, you know,
Yeah. And I think we're great at justifying our actions. It's just this once. It's just because I had a stressful week. It's just because I'm in my luteal phase. We have all kinds of excuses. Everyone else is doing it. No, I will. Yeah, there's a million of them. I will say the one thing when I started to investigate this, I was like, oh, it almost sounds like duality because duality is something that I really look into. But the difference between duality invites acceptance. It's not creating conflict. So cognitive dissonance is going to create a conflicting feeling. Duality is like, yeah, both of these things can be true at the same time. And it's more of an accepting vibe. When you look at two opposing things and you feel this tension, that's how you know it's cognitive dissonance. So cognitive dissonance is going to create that internal conflict and it's going to make you feel drained, it's going to make you feel stressed. You're going to know that something's not aligning.
right. You're feeling easier anxious about a decision that you've made. Defensive when your actions and your beliefs are questioned. And I think
Mm,
I struggle with this a lot when especially in like romantic relationships. when they'll like try to challenge something, especially like if it's something from like my past or something. And it's like I get so defensive because like a lot of things I have let go of and I've grown into such a different person. Obviously, we're all works in progress, so not claiming to be like perfect or anything, but I do notice that in myself quite a bit. Like rationalizing or making excuses for things, avoiding conversations with people.
About your decisions.
Yeah, or like challenging your views or something.
I've definitely experienced that.
And just like this
Or just
nagging
having
feeling that
trouble
something's not
making a
right.
decision. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. How do you think we should become aware of it? Like, what do you think? Do you think there's a resolution?
Yes. So I think we have to get honest with ourselves.
Mhm.
What two things are at odds here? Recognize, and sometimes this can be hard. I think my body is great at pushing those tough feelings down. So
Same.
it ends up manifesting physically. So I'll get chest pain if my anxiety is really high. And that's how I know to like tune into myself and be like, okay, what is going on right now? That is the issue. So,
Mhm.
maybe sitting down and doing some journaling, some meditation, figuring out it's hard to be honest with ourselves, especially when it's big ticket items. If it's something like working out, we can probably pretty well recognize I know I say I want to work out, I want to feel healthier, but I don't do it. But like maybe bigger ticket items like our career path or relationships that maybe feel like, well, if I make a decision on this, this is going to affect more than just myself.
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, like, what belief or behavior needs to change to shift how I feel? Do I need to change what I'm doing, or do I need to change my belief around what I'm doing? And it could be either or.
Mhm.
Um, and then we have to choose clarity over comfort. So once you identified what it is, we know that growth is uncomfortable, and just accept that. Not everything is going to be rainbows and butterflies. And maybe we have to go through a little discomfort to get to the outcome that we want. And then just take small actions. And I can use like an example. I have been wanting to eat healthier. I have expressed before that I was absolutely addicted to carbs. So I would work out and I would go and do the physical activities I needed to do, but I would still eat like shit.
Mhm.
And I was like, look, and I kept giving myself excuses. Oh, well, it's a treat because I did work out, or I'm in my luteal phase and I need a sweet treat, or I had a really stressful day and I need this treat. And then I was like, okay, is every day a reason to eat all these carbs and to eat cake and all
Right.
these
We just have to
things?
like reflect on our contradictions. Like, are my actions lining up
Mm-hmm.
with what I say and value? And sometimes that's
Yeah.
very hard to
And then like
do.
some of those, yes.
We get in like this
And sometimes those
justification
small
loop.
actions. Yes, and I absolutely do. But I started with, okay, what is a healthier sweet treat that I can have? Maybe I can have some fresh fruit. It's going to satiate that carb craving, but it's also
Mhm.
a little bit more beneficial. And then how can I reduce, like I was going to Crumble and Nothing Bundt Cakes every week. So just don't go there.
Right.
Just don't even look at the menu. Like that would be my Sunday night routine. Oh, what crumble flavors are there this week? And then I would just plan to go and buy a bunch of cookies. And like, I haven't done that in a while.
Good for you. That's so hard
And
though because they're so good.
yeah, and it's been tough, and it's really about like taking small steps. And I haven't like completely eliminated sweets out of my diet, but
Mhm.
we were in Gatlinburg this weekend and we went to Cinnaholic where you can make like custom cinnamon rolls and you like
Mm.
choose the flavor and the toppings, and it's a big cinnamon roll. So we got it, but then I was like, okay, I'm just going to eat the middle part of it, the best part, and I threw the rest
Mhm.
away. And granted, maybe that's wasteful, but I'm getting better at doing like littler portions of those things that aren't so
Yeah.
good for me.
For sure. I think we just have to find a way to cope with it. So adjust your behavior if possible. If like if you value being honest and you make a mistake, don't lie and cover it up, just own it and be honest. Re-examine your beliefs. Is so like we said earlier, just sometimes we hold on to these beliefs and we grow and they no longer serve us, or eating certain things no longer serves us. Our daily routine isn't something that we're in alignment with anymore. So kind of revamp certain things in your life. I think we need to accept discomfort with because like cognitive dissonance is like a challenge. And so not every contradiction needs to be solved overnight. And so just sit with this discomfort and maybe journal it out, write the pros and cons of how your behaviors, you know, causing you harm, and you're judging yourself because you want to be this way, but really you keep falling into these old patterns and this old belief system. And so I think being honest with yourself is, I don't know, probably really the first step. And what do I really want? What am
Yeah.
I avoiding? What outcome do I want from changing my behavior? And what outcome am I going to have if I don't change my behavior? And then, I don't know, I like talking it out with people. Sometimes I'll isolate myself for a
Mhm.
while, but then just like having a conversation about it just helps.
Yeah. And I will say when I started looking into this and I realized like how many things are examples of cognitive dissonance in my own life, then I
Mhm.
started to feel bad. And I was like, wait a second. So I looked into it. And when you start to notice this, don't look at cognitive dissonance as a sign of failure. Look at it as you're
Mhm.
evolving. What previously, those previous patterns, your mind is already starting to notice those and notice, hey, that doesn't serve our purpose. And so it's really your mind getting you to grow and say, hey, you didn't want to do this anymore. Let's change our habits so that we align with our purpose.
Yeah. It's just a new opportunity.
I found this quote that I like, and it says, the most peaceful people aren't perfect, they're just in alignment.
Mm,
I was like, yeah,
love it.
that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's hard because some days I think like little subtle things, I don't know, like your belief system changes based on what you need too. Like I want to be really
Mhm.
motivated today. I want to get my closet cleaned out and meal prep and do all these things, and my body's telling me like I really just need to like curl up and rest today. And so I think that's where it's hard for me to not judge myself when I give myself like time to rest and rejuvenate, because I really wish that I wanted to, or I had the energy to do something else. I think that's my biggest struggle with it.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. The other day, like last weekend, I had fully set to start on my spring cleaning and my
Mhm.
body absolutely needed to rest. There was stressful things going on and I was like, "Okay, do I need to honor what my body is requesting right now or do what I had decided earlier in the week I was gonna do today?" And I think you have to take that into consideration. Like, our bodies are gonna be different every day, and what we set
Mhm.
out for ourselves might not fit, and maybe there's a compromise in there, maybe I could do a little bit of something, but nothing too strenuous and still create a restful time for myself.
Yeah. I was thinking about also how cognitive dissonance, like our intuition plays a big role in this too. Because how many times have you, ugh, I don't know about you, but me, like, how many times have I really just sat back and, like, if I would have just followed my gut, I wouldn't be in this position. I wasn't
Yeah.
choosing the path of, like, my higher self that I knew better, like, "Kayla, you fucking knew better." And so, I think I don't know, I think that kind of falls in the subject of cognitive dissonance as well, is when you don't follow your intuition.
Absolutely, and then, of course, you get down on yourself because 'cause you're like, "I had the answer to this at the
Mhm.
beginning, and I didn't listen."
Mhm.
That's a hard one,
Yeah.
for sure. I found some book recs. None of these I've ever read, but there's one called The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. Never read it, but it said that this was a good book for this topic. Also, items by Brene Brown or Leon Festinger.
Are you the one that
I've
told
said
me you
this
don't
many
like her?
times.
Is it-
Yeah. Well, I don't know that I don't like her, but her books just don't speak to me.
Mhm. No, me either. Not me
I don't know.
personally. But this War of Art, I've never heard of this. I've been asking
No.
ChatGPT to break down books for me that I want to read because it gives you a little bit more in depth than just like what's on the back of the book or the introduction.
Mm,
I'm going to ask
that's a
it.
great idea.
Yeah.
I've recently been I've been finding like synopsises of books and downloading those to
Mm,
like decide if it's something I want to read the bigger book. I didn't even know that those were available, but there are some
I
audiobooks
didn't know that
available that are
either.
like a 5-minute synopsis.
Oh, that's or Audible don't give you that?
I don't use Audible. I use like books on the iPhone. I don't know what that like I guess that's what it's called on iPhone. Let me
I didn't even
see.
know we had
Yeah, the
that.
Books app on iPhone.
Oh.
That's what I've been using. I guess I should use Audible because I have an Amazon Prime account, but I just haven't.
Well, this is cool too. I didn't know that. I didn't know that we had a books thing.
Yeah. And I just use my Apple Pay to pay for it.
Yeah. I definitely don't need to be paying for anything else with my Apple Pay.
It's too easy.
I
Too
know.
easy.
I know. So what things like if you had to pick like
Well,
3 things that you're going to use that you're going to do like be more mindful of your cognitive dissonance, what 3 subjects are you going to be more mindful of? Like you'll
continuing
actually
to
think.
work on my yeah, continuing to work on my food choices.
Mhm.
I think also continuing to look at the way I treat other people. That's been a long time thing for me. And I know we talked about it in a previous episode, but I do see myself as a kind person. And so I do experience that cognitive dissonance when I do something that hurts someone else.
Mhm.
Even it's strange, like Jordan and I had a really tough conversation the other day. And even though I spoke my truth and I spoke it in a gentle way, it was still hurtful for him to hear. And it made me feel bad that he was hurt. But at the same time, I was happy that I spoke my truth.
Mhm.
So that's another area that I experience it. And I really try to to find ways to communicate my needs and my thoughts in a constructive and nice way. It's not something that was ever modeled for me. And so I know I fail at it sometimes. So that's a hard one. What
Yeah, it
areas do you
is.
think?
Certainly my health. I'd say exercising is more of my where I experience it. I just need to get up and do it. And I want to detox
Mhm.
from my phone. So that's one too. And then, I mean, I need to detox in general from a lot of things. And I would say spending. I need to do a little bit better with my spending.
Yeah. I think phone is another one for me. I think that I want to set some screen time goals or
I put a
just when I
timer on
know
my
I'm going to
TikTok.
sit down. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Like you set a timer on your phone?
Mhm.
That's a good idea.
For an
Okay.
hour. I gave myself an hour of TikTok in a day. And when I hit that limit, I'm like, oh my God, I've wasted an hour already today scrolling on TikTok. Are you kidding me? I need to
That's how
do
you
it
feel
for,
at the end of it?
yeah. Yeah, I've done it for 3 days now.
Okay. I like that because it gives a value to what you're doing, and you're like, oh,
Mhm.
an hour already passed, and I've wasted that, and I could be
Mhm.
doing other things. Okay,
Yeah.
I've been scrolling, using my time at the gym to scroll on TikTok. So like when I'm doing my cardio, because I
Yeah, that's
typically do
good.
the stair stepper for my cardio.
Oh,
And I'm
that's
like,
really good.
okay, I can do this because I'm also doing this. And then it
Yeah,
causes me to want to do my cardio a little bit longer
for sure.
because
Yeah,
I
that's
hate
a good
cardio
one.
so much.
I do too. The stair stepper feels good to me, though.
It does. That's my favorite one to do. And
Me
I've
too.
honestly been seeing really good results with it.
Yeah. And I'll do it at work too. Like, I'll do the stairs at work because we got 12 floors. So I can do that at work real quick for free if I have a day where I can get away from my patients for a minute. But girl, doing stairs in real life versus the stair stepper, like the stair stepper had me bamboozled. Because actually walking up a hill and walking up real stairs, I'm like, oh my God, this is different type of burn.
Right. Why is it so different? But it
Hmm.
does feel much different in real life.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to do the incline on just the treadmill?
Mm-mm.
That's harder than the stair stepper to me sometimes.
It looks like it. I've seen people do it and I'm like,
100%. Mhm.
well, when we were climbing mountains at zip lining, it was like this super steep sidewalk to climb up. And I was like, oh my God, I'm dying. Hmm. But I am starting to notice I was like, I'd considered like getting on like a weight loss medication or something. But I was like, "No, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna build healthy habits." And I also was concerned about, like, rapid weight loss and, like, how my body would look different and things. And I'm really happy that I stuck with doing it naturally and doing it with changing my diet and being in the gym. Because, like, those achievements, like, when I look in the mirror butt naked, I'm like, "I did this." It does. Little reward for the hard work. What else do you got for us on this topic? Mhm. Yeah. So take a little reflection. Where in your life are you saying one thing but doing another? Feel free to write into us, share your story, share what you've experienced as well. And make sure to also subscribe, share us wherever you listen. We hope you have a great week. Namaste.